What's going on, everybody? What a historic day for the University of Miami football program. We not only let go of Manny Diaz today, we have signed Mario Cristobal on a historic 10-year deal for $8 million. This is the new Miami for everyone listening. Bright days are ahead. And I'll tell you what, Ross, recruiting, it's already going to be a complete 180. We will no longer lose out on some of the top talent in South Florida. And we'll also be having a lot of great talent staying and playing at the University of Miami.
It will also make us a national presence again, Paul. This is what Cristobal did. He recruited as a national presence at Oregon. He's going to do the same at Miami, no doubt about it. You put that fence around the 305, you get the guys you want, right there locally, and then you start making offers outside of that. That's the route we need to go, and I'm sure Cristobal understands that more than anybody else.
Yeah, I know this hire was fantastic. A lot of people in the media doubted Miami. They said we couldn't come up with the money to land Mario Cristobal. We didn't have the resources, the facilities that Oregon did. Our program is a lot worse than the University of Oregon. That's what the outsiders said. Well, guess what? We landed Mario Cristobal, and now the plan is to finance one of the biggest staffs in the ACC. We'll be funding it financially, very hefty, economic-wise. It's going to get a lot better, guys. Coach Mirabal, their offensive line coach at Oregon, is already going to be going to Miami, and their strength and conditioning coach as well. The guy with the mustache, he's joining.
I wouldn't mind us taking a look at their cornerback coach if they decide to not retain T-Rob. We'll see what T-Rob could definitely be retained, don't get me wrong. But if for some reason he's not, Rod Chance, he was the cornerback coach for Mario this last year. He's a St. Thomas Aquinas grad, so he's a local guy. He knows that stuff already, dude. And don't be shocked, dude, to hear a name pop back up, and it's a name that Canes fans are familiar with, and that's James Coley. Don't be surprised if he pops back up into the mix.
So my number one option, and Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press has already confirmed this, there is interest on Joe Brady's side and the University of Miami if they want to discuss further options about being the potential offensive coordinator at the University of Miami. Now, here's the catch with it. Every program in America is going to offer him a contract. It's not just going to be Miami. If they're going to want him, they're going to have to bid for it. But we will be financially backed pretty well this time around. Under Mario's contract, what he was told at Miami, he will be financially suited extremely well.
Yep. This is the home run we've been needing, guys. I mean, for so long, we've been trying to be clever and spend less money while trying to make it maximize, our potential and maximize wins. We're not playing that game anymore. We went out and we spent the money it took to get a real head coach who has a real philosophy and a real plan. And I'll tell you what, me being a recruiting guy, I'm absolutely loving Cristobal being here already because it's already opened up doors. I have got recruits in my DMs, guys, right now that were not in my DMs 2 weeks ago. I'll tell you that.
And Mario Cristobal has already spoken with Ja'Cory Brown, our quarterback that's signed in this class. Do you think Ja'Cory Brown will be staying in this class, Ross?
Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly he'll be retained. Yes.
Tony Trombetta, $5 donation. Thank you so much. We just served notice to not only the ACC, but all of college football, and it's about damn time. This was outstanding hire, guys. I want to touch up on, Ross, ideally, at offensive coordinator, my number one would be Joe Brady. You mentioned James Coley as another potential option. Are there any other names you can think of as offensive coordinators to look out for that maybe have ties to Cristobal, or you can see making the transition to the staff? Because financially, money will not be an issue at all.
Even though he's not at a major school right now, there is ties, and that's Frank Ponce. He's over at App State right now. He's a Miami Central, Miami Northwestern guy. So the familiarity right there locally, he could just be a guy that, while he's not the most popular name or the biggest name, he could definitely be a name that still gets an interview just because of the familiarity.
Chug Mo Beer with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. Great day to be a Miami Hurricane. The U has a bright future. Finally, smash that like button. Canes for life. Hit the like button if you want Joe Brady at the University of Miami. Hit subscribe if you're ecstatic over the Mario Cristobal hire. If we land Joe Brady with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback and the athletes that are going to be surrounding him at the University of Miami, it's going to be a very, very good recipe for success.
Get that offensive line going, dude. You know, I mean, think about it. Think about the possibilities of TVD behind an elite Cristobal offensive line while recruiting at an elite level for that as well. And getting the run game finally in order, getting the run blocking finally in order will only make it easier on the pass game as well. I'm really, really excited to see about what this new offensive line can do for us because we've needed this kind of help for a long, long, long time.
Alex Perez, $20 donation. Thank you so much, Alex. We got Super Mario, boys. Just to let you know how inept Manny was, I work with a friend of Mike Jones, all ACC linebacker and local Miami recruit. He told me that Mike wanted to be a Cane, but all Manny did was lead him on. There you go. Thank you, Alex, for the $20 donation. Greatly appreciate it. No, Mario is going to be your ace recruiter, guys. I mean, he literally look up his recruiting rankings in Oregon. Now going to an area what he knows very well. He has very strong established ties. And Mirabal was Pac-12 Recruiter of the Year.
Yeah.
By the way, like, we're going to bring a strong staff, no doubt about it. Couple names, I think, at the running back position unit. And this guy is one of the best in the state of Florida. He hails from Penn State, Jaquan Cedar. This is one of the best running back recruiters out there in the nation. Hell of a coach, and he's over at Penn State. That's someone I would definitely circle in as well. Wide receivers coach, some people were mentioning to keep Rob Likens. I'm not really sure who. I understand I think Oregon, there was a report saying that their wide receiver coach might get a look to come to Miami. I do know there's a lot of mutual respect between Rob Shasinski and Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, Chud is a name that we should definitely bring up just for the simple fact of that familiarity. I think Mario Cristobal understands that he's not going to try to reinvent the wheel at Miami. What he's going to do is try to reinvent a brand new image at Miami. No longer are we going to be the team that's desperately trying to revive the past. We're going to have something to be proud of now and something to be proud of in the future. And we're going to flex those muscles going forward. And I'm excited about that. I was sick of always looking in the past. Create a new identity. Let's move forward. We finally got the coach to do it.
We have over 190 people joining us live. Over 200, 9 minutes in. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. The Miami Hurricanes have just hired Mario Cristobal to a 10-year deal, and I'm ecstatic. That's huge to me because then any other program that wants to come after him, any NFL team, they're going to have to pay us a lot of money, and we're going to be very well funded. Ross, offensive line coach, who do you think someone could be maybe a nice plug-in for this staff? I don't think Garen Justice will be retained. Oh, never mind. Alex Mirabal. I'm going way too ahead of myself. God, I'm thinking too much. Okay, Alex Mirabal. We'll talk about him. How do you think of him as a coach, Pac-12 Recruiter of the Year? And by the way, he's like 5'2", right? He's like a really short guy.
Yeah.
What do you think about him with the personnel he had at Oregon? I know you're a West Coast guy. You watch him a lot more than I do. What have you seen from Oregon?
The guy could flat out recruit an elite level at the offensive line. There had been some games here and there where the offensive line kind of fell off, but this is football. It's not ever responsible for one unit. Their whole team was struggling when these issues were happening. I am absolutely excited as hell to have a guy like Mirabal in who's pumped players into the NFL and who recruits at that elite level. I mean, dude, if we start getting back in the mix for 5-star offensive linemen, we'll know basically overnight that this was the right move.
Yeah, no, 100%. What do you think about Malik Agbo? You think he's coming to Miami? You think we're in play? I think he's setting up an official visit according to Cane Sport.
I think this puts us in play more than it did with Diaz. That's for damn sure. I know Agbo did a good job of kind of playing along and kind of keeping Miami, in his in his rear view almost, while these other bigger schools were around him more. But dude, this puts us right in there, dude. This puts us right in there for Agbo, and you know who else it puts us in for? The kid from Duncanville, Texas, Cameron Williams. That's who else it puts us back in loop for.
So I know there's a couple people in the secondary that went to Keyshawn Smith's high school that are currently committed to Oregon. I think they're 2 4 stars, and that's a connection right there. You know, Mario going to Miami. You got Keyshawn Smith over there. Take a
Uh,
look.
yeah, Jaleel Tucker and Jaleel Florence, both from San Diego.
Why not? Why not come to the U? One of your ex teammates plays here. Why not come here?
I'm really hoping that we decide to go after Kelvin Banks, the 5-star offensive lineman, number 2 offensive lineman in the 2022 class. He was a committed Oregon. I really hope we decide to go after him.
Do you guys think Justin Flo will enter the transfer portal? Maybe follow Mario to Miami. Remember, like Miami was like second choice. He had a really good relationship with Rohan Marley when he was visiting Miami. Does anyone in the chat, maybe you, Ross, as well, think Justin Flo might make the move to the University of Miami?
I mean, if he doesn't make the move, we'll definitely be one of the teams that's being talked about at minimum. I don't see why not. He's not going to stay at Oregon. I don't see Flo sticking around there. So no matter what, we should be at least in the mix, at least at minimum.
But here's my thing, guys. Even if you're not the biggest Justin Flo fan, our linebacker position unit needs all the help they can get.
Yep.
Like, it's not in a good position moving forward. It's not the Mario Cristobal standard, not the University of Miami standard. So if Justin Flo is evaluated as a take under Mario Cristobal's vision, go for it.
Yep. I'm trusting Cristobal. I'm trusting his moves, and I'm trusting his staff's moves going forward. These guys know what they're doing, and they've proven it. I mean, this isn't just wondering anymore or hoping. We have actual proof that these guys can do their jobs and do it at a really good level.
So we're talking about the defensive side of the football. I have like a bunch of names as defensive coordinators that would make a good fit. I want you to say your guy because I know you've said it tons of times and why, and then your second choice.
It's actually funny because someone else brought up to him. He tagged me on Twitter last night saying that they did some research on him, saying that Tosh Lupoy is the guy that they are now gunning for defensive coordinator. That's
fantastic.
That's my guy. I mean, he is the elite recruiter. I mean, if we had a coach like Cristobal as head coach and a DC like that, I mean, the possibilities are unfreaking believable. We're talking about recruiting at an elite SEC type level is what we're talking about, and developing at that type of a level. It's tough to say. There seems to be a couple other guys name wise that people are talking about for DC, but my other focus is Jimmy Lake, the fired coach from University of Washington. He has familiarity with Cristobal just from the simple fact that they both played in the Pac-12. They both competed against each other in the Northwest. And Cristobal knows exactly how good of a recruiter Jimmy Lake can be, especially at cornerback. So keep an eye on that one as well. Those two names, man, I'm telling you, Jimmy Lake or Tosh Lupoy, that would get me really excited.
We got a couple donations coming in. MDB 3000, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. So back to a 4-3, hopefully they have packages that get Monte, Cam, James on the field at the same time. Alex Perez, thank you for the $5 donation. If we get T2 Flo Basaint, we are set. The future's looking bright. Look, Tosh Lupoy, like you said, he would be an ace recruiter, outstanding defensive coordinator as well. Jimmy
Medlock decommitted?
I mean, see ya. I don't care. I didn't like him as a take before. I wanted Omar Graham Jr., and Miami didn't view him as a take. Guys,
we're going after Devin Jackson now. That's what we're going after.
Devin Jackson's commit Oregon. Just hop on board. He was considering Miami.
Yep, that's what we're going after now. I guarantee it.
That's a better take. I mean, Omar Graham Jr. is a better take than Medlock. I'm sorry.
He is. I completely agree. I mean, this is a one of those addition by subtraction, guys. We get the right guys to fill this spot. It'll be like nothing ever changed. It'll just be like everything was moving forward as it naturally should have.
And by the way, guys, you will see a series of decommitments from, I'm sure, a couple recruits. Staffs could play ghost on these guys. It's just reality of the situation.
You know what else this does now, too, guys, is this puts us back in the mix to have Miami pay for three recruits that we're already familiar with and some guys who have actually been on campus before. This allows Jeffrey Mba, the JUCO defensive lineman, Anthony Lucas, and the Oregon OL commit Cameron Williams can all see Miami on Miami's dime again. So don't be surprised that those guys are back on campus.
You think Amari Wilson will end up a Kane?
That's a tough. That's a tough one. I'm not sure what that is like for his connection. Do you know? Is there any connection right away from this new staff?
Here's the thing. I feel like so December 15th, right? We're 9 days away. Like basically Mario and Mirabal are going to be recruiting on their own in the sense, to get to find their guys. Cause like, how do you hire a complete staff, a safeties coach 9 days away? Someone to cover your cornerbacks coach 9 days away. You got your D line. There's a lot of things at play. Now, someone asked who's a coach who I think would be retained, Coach Fields. He was I think, director of recruiting under Cristobal previously. So that's someone who could be retained. I don't know as a tight end role, but look out for that. Do you think we have a shot at Corey Raymond, guys, at LSU? If we have the appropriate money, like we're saying, we're throwing money over there. Do you think we can go after Corey Raymond? Why not?
That will really tell us, like, hey, we're not just done spending money at head coach. We're willing to spend it elsewhere to create this amazing staff. Dude, we get Corey Raymond, bro. Sky's the limit. Sky is the freaking limit for us in recruiting, period.
Canes Freak 2001 3X. Greatly appreciate your $50 donation. Thank you so much, man. We greatly appreciate your support. Yo, guys, it's finally here. Mario and possibly a new on-campus stadium. Well, that'll probably take 40 years to make, but Mario is here. We're ecstatic. This is a new day at the University of Miami. Now, I will say, guys, we are paying Mario Cristobal $8 million. There is no hope to win the ACC Coastal. We better win some ACC titles and show up in the college football playoffs during his 10-year tenure at Miami. Okay, $8 million is a lot of money. Mario better back it up. And I know he
We
will.
are coming to rob the ACC for everything it's got. Miami back number one, boys. We're coming for them. Ski mask season back in effect. Let's go.
Where'd you buy that?
Sniper Gang apparel. It was the one that was Jeff Garcia and some of the other guys were rocking in the locker room a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, TVD was rocking it. Oh, very cool. Very cool. It's probably hot for you with that on, huh?
A little warm, yeah, but hey, I'll do it just for a couple seconds just to fire it up, and then it's coming off.
We got over 380 people on live with us. Thank you guys so much. 18 minutes in. Mario, I was going to say Manny Diaz. I was about to say Manny Diaz. Mario Cristobal is the head coach of the University of Miami. This is not fake. It's real. It's confirmed. I'm ecstatic. By the way, guys, would you guys be interested now? A guy like Jim Levitt. I think he's still at FAU. Could be wrong on that. He's down the road. He has a history with working with Mario Cristobal, I believe. Would you guys be interested in a guy like that? I mean, Tosh Lupe would be a great name. Jimmy Lake has been thrown around. People say maybe Travaris Robinson will be even retained.
Yeah, I've heard a DVD could be a guy that we truly want to hold on to as well. So it wouldn't surprise me. Guys who have proven success already locally is what I see. Even as far as our running back coach, he's got some success in that department. Not sure what Mario's thinking there, but heck, some of these guys are worth keeping on to, Paul. They are. It's just making sure we keep the right guys while adding talent around them.
MDB 3000, thank you for the $5 donation. The one thing Mario cannot abandon is the spread. We don't need to go backwards with this offense. And OU ran this year, won't cut it. I completely agree. No, we have to cater our offense around Tyler Van Dyke. He's probably going to be the number one overall quarterback prospect. We need to develop our offensive line a lot. All four quarters, they need to improve immensely. Corey Gaynor's into the transfer portal. Navon Donaldson's leaving. We need a lot of work there. It's not the strongest unit. They did play a little bit better towards the end of the season. But you know what? Mirabal will get them ready. And Mario Cristobal is an offensive line coach. That's his specialty. He coached offensive line at the University of Alabama. Like, we're going to be fine, and recruiting is going to be a lot different. If we land Malik Agbo, watch out. The future is going to be insane. We will finally have a respectable offensive line because it's been quite a while. I think last good offensive line unit was under Kehoe. And that was under Golden.
That was a while ago.
That was a while
ago. I see you wholesome there in the chat. Thanks for showing us support, bro.
Huge day, H1. No, 100%. Thank you for stopping by, supporting. Greatly appreciate it. No, it's a fantastic day. Ross, what do you want to talk about? We got over 400 people in the chat. anything you want to discuss, get the chat involved. Um, and maybe besides Joe Brady, you mentioned James Coley. Is there another OC you can think of that will have a strong playbook? Honestly, like I'll be honest, Ross, I wouldn't necessarily want James Coley because I think there's more options out there
Mhm.
as the offseason carries on. We are 9 days from early signing day. So, I mean, we're probably going to have to hit the transfer portal heavy, to be
Yep.
honest.
Yep. A guy I mentioned there, the guy at App State, just for the simple fact that he's got connections, dude. Frank Ponce. I mean, he's a guy who has connections to this current staff and to the local recruiting scene and local high school scene. So, I mean, I know he's at App State, but guys, don't let that freak you out right now. There's a way to get good coaches who have been kind of ignored a little bit recently. You can find these guys and bring them in and get them in the right system, and they shine.
Yeah, I can see Frank Ponce as like a run specialist coach, and then we have our like passing coordinator, like run coordinator, pass coordinator, something that Clemson had under Dabo Sweeney. I don't
Yeah.
think he qualifies for like a full offensive coordinator position. I will say I think Joe Brady's at the top of their list, and then they're going to work down, and that's respectfully. I mean, Joe Brady was one of the top OCs. I think he was the pass game coordinator for LSU, kind of a co-OC situation. So maybe LSU will come back at him. I'm sure they will, but I don't know his relationship with Brian Kelly.
I keep seeing a name popping up in here in the chat, and it's Chud. Paul, I got a question for you. What kind of role would you be comfortable in Chud taking over at this new staff? Or are you even not just interested in all?
I just like, when was the last time he was an OC? Like, I
Oh, I'm not
understand
saying OC. I'm just saying a spot on the staff.
maybe overseeing the football program, like, football operations, the same role he has at Boston College. I understand he was a former NFL head coach for the Cleveland Browns, but listen, man, this is college football. You got to be innovated. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when was the last time he was an OC in college football? We need to win now. We can't just cater to former Miami Hurricanes. I know people were saying Ken Dorsey, bring him back. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to come back for an OC role. Maybe he wants to fight for an OC role in the NFL.
The reason I even bring up Chud is not to do with putting him as our offensive coordinator. It's to add him to the staff because he actually does enjoy recruiting and he can recruit. That's part of my reason for that. I don't. He's not our offensive line coach. I'll tell you that. Our offensive coordinator, but he is a guy who could help us out in the right role if we handle it right. And I have no problem handling specific roles to specific guys. I have no problem with that.
The Woods $10 donation today is officially a monumental day for the Hurricanes program, fans, and community. We literally hired the best qualified head coach with Power 5 experience since Butch Davis.
Woo!
Whew.
Bold statement. I like it, though.
He's definitely a top 10 coach in college football. Definitely top 5, top 10 range. Miami got their guy. Hell of a hire.
Especially if you count in what he does in recruiting, not just what he's done as a coach on the field, but you tie in his recruiting as well. Yes, he's a top 10 guy, no doubt about it. And guys, we spent the money. University of Miami went and spent the money to make it happen. I don't know if this can, I mean, it's monumental for us. We're talking about almost 20 years of doing the exact opposite. This is huge.
Canes fan 365 $10 donation. Thank you so much. Joe Brady as OC. End of conversation. I'm on the Joe Brady train. That's who I want. Priority number one. With Tyler Van Dyke as our quarterback, I don't care if it's just for 1 year. That's going to be special. And then people on the transfer portal are going to want to play with the number one quarterback in the nation, with one of the best OCs in the nation, with one of the best coaches in the nation. This will be a recipe for success. On top of that, our defense with the appropriate defensive coordinator is going to look like, I mean, I don't want to say it, but we should win the ACC. We should. It's too early, but we should win the ACC if you bring in a Joe Brady, if you bring in a good defensive coordinator, and you bring in key players from the transfer portal. This could be a 1 to 2 year fix. Call me crazy.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to get mad if it doesn't work out the first, second, third year. I'm not going to get mad. I'm going to be very patient with Mario Cristobal because I believe in him.
Yeah, I mean, first, second, third year, I mean, I don't think we'll even be truly hitting our stride until the end of that third season. Actually truly seeing what we really have with this staff and what changes we could make and how we adapt to things. But in the meantime, though, we're still going to keep improving in important ways. And that's what recruits want to see, guys. They want to see improvements on a week-by-week basis. So hopefully we just nail this staff and we hit home runs back to back, because we could be talking about top 5 recruiting classes at the University of Miami within a matter of 2 years.
All right, over 480 people listening to us live. Actually, over 490. If you guys can hit subscribe, if you're ecstatic about the Mario Cristobal hire, if you want to have Joe Brady as your OC, hit subscribe, hit the like button to support us. We would greatly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Let's hit 500 on this live show. Let's do it. MDB 3000 $5 donation. Thank you so much. Do you think we keep Jess Simpson? He and Mario have a strong relationship, and honestly, he delivered while he was here. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I really don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
You know, I saw something from a recruit that we're fairly familiar with here, Paul. I'll tell you what, this Cristobal hire, it caught Jaden Wayne's attention. It caught it quick. He had already got a post on Twitter about it with the eyeballs and everything, dude. And that was a guy that was being pursued a lot more by Oregon than he was being pursued by Miami. So don't be surprised if we get back in the mix for Jaden Wayne again.
What did the 5-star defensive linemen tell you when Manny Diaz was on the hot seat? They weren't recruiting him, right? Class of 2023?
Yeah, they were confused as hell. They had no idea why they went from being heavily recruited to basically being just cut off. And they had no explanation why or anything. I mean, these are guys who had our staff's phone numbers and personal connections, contacting them, calling them, texting them, and our staff refusing to contact them back. And it's why we left ourselves kind of dry in a lot of places, honestly. Cristobal's not that stupid, though. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to play it right.
You know why I'm not going to treat Cristobal the same way I treated Manny? Because Manny on the press conference in day one, he didn't say rebuild. Mario Cristobal said this is going to be a long project when interviewed today. Manny Diaz said, win now. This is the new Miami. He lost to FIU. He lost to Louisiana Tech. He lost to Duke. He lost to Georgia Tech his first year. He lost to a 3-6 Florida State football team. He was embarrassed by UNC, embarrassed by Clemson. He's literally given up over 100 yards in penalties in several games. After every bye week, we were unprepared, okay? This was the worst hire that even your AD got fired because it was that bad. And the turnover chain, the way he marketed the program was horrendous. The mindset going into the program, that will all change under Mario Cristobal, who's won the Pac-12 twice and has won the Rose Bowl, who's coached under Nick Saban and is one of the best recruiters in the nation. That is why I'm going to give Mario Cristobal a completely 180 treatment.
We got, as of right now with this Diaz, a recruiting class in 2022, guys, we're behind Duke, we're behind Illinois, we're behind Marshall. What the hell? Why the hell should that ever be acceptable at the University of Miami? Cristobal will make sure that kind of crap doesn't happen anymore.
Joshua Bruff, winning percentage since becoming a Power 5 coach rankings. You got Ryan Day up there, Lincoln Riley, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, Dabo at 5, Jimbo at 6, and right there, Mario Cristobal at 7 over Brian Kelly. We will be a 10-win team year in and year out. We will be ranked in the top 25 and in the college football playoff conversation. We will win the ACC during Mario Cristobal's tenure.
Paul, I mean, was there a better hire we could make for the University of Miami? Like, I have a hard time trying to think of who could be a better hire for Miami. This seems to be the ace, dude. Like, we knocked it out the damn park this time, bro. I really feel like it.
Like, Lane Kiffin would have been a good hire, but this was better. This was better.
I agree. I mean, I kind of had Kiffin and Cristobal as my 1A, 1B. But Cristobal was my 1A, you know, so he was just that little bump ahead, just tiny bump ahead. But, man, dude, like, I'm so excited right now, dude, with the recruiting possibilities. You know I'm a recruiting guy, dude. I mean, the recruiting possibilities have just gone absolutely nuts. We're in the mix now for a 5-star wide receiver athlete, Samuel Mpemba, dude. So, I mean, just overnight, we're already back in the mix for 5-star recruits. That tells you what Cristobal can do.
Alex Perez, another $5 donation. Thank you so much. What's Mario's record year one, considering we go to Clemson, Texas A&M? I think 9-3 is fair. I think 9-3 is a fair record year one, and win the ACC Coastal. I think that's fair.
Yeah, he's still going to be working with a lot of players that aren't his hand-selected players. Trying to figure out the best roles for them within his scheme. You know, and like Paul mentioned already here too, guys, we're going to be plugging in quite a few transfer player guys because we simply have to. The numbers don't add up in recruiting, so we've got to add those transfer guys. So this this team is going to look a whole lot different next year than it did this year. While TBD and them are still going to be slinging the ball and Knighton's still going to be in the backfield, this team's going to look a whole lot different.
Yeah. Mario Cristobal is not a very good coach, or Manny Diaz, because that sounds like Manny Diaz right there, in my opinion.
He didn't win games as players did. I hope that's not Cristobal.
Look, the losing to Utah by like 20 plus points in a month, I mean, yeah, that's concerning. You know what I mean? But hey, let's see. Like if Jimmy Johnson, if you take his record, Erickson's record at Washington State, Johnson's record at Oklahoma State, like it's not pretty. It wasn't it wasn't pretty at all present day. If there was social media around, they would rip them apart.
And speaking of Jimmy Johnson, he has fully given his support into this hire already, guys. He has vocally and publicly given his support behind Mario Cristobal.
Mario will transform Manny's 60th ranked 2022 class to a top 10 class in 2 weeks. I don't know if it won't go top 10, but thank you for the donation, Joshua. It won't go top 10, but I think we'll get some surprise late minute snags. You think we'll get Earl Little?
He's a name that's popped up a lot more now, actually. That was something that I was doing quite a bit of research on that name earlier. It appears that we would be right back in the mix for Earl Little. It really, really, really appears we'd be right back in that mix. And the defensive lineman, Kelly, too. Nigel Kelly. Just one of my favorite guys, bro. One of my favorite guys on the defensive line. We're back in the mix for him, too.
I think Nigel Kelly is definitely it's good on our side.
Very good, very good.
And what do you think, Devin Jackson too? You think we're in play now?
Absolutely, we're in play with Devin Jackson, and we're in play with a guy who we are already in play with, and that's Anthony Lucas. This only kind of raises our level. I mean, it wasn't Diaz that was the draw for Anthony Lucas. It was Miami that was the draw. Well, as far as I understood, Cristobal had impressed him a lot more than Diaz had impressed him. So that right there is a good sign. It's a good sign for us, guys. Very good sign. Anthony Lucas, he's got this pull in him, you know, while he doesn't want to like necessarily say, oh, I'm going all in Miami. I'm going all in Miami. It always draws him back, though. He always ends up looking back there and always ends up kind of coming back to it. And that's important in recruiting. That's a familiarity and confidence move.
By the way, guys, I'm not worried on the Justin Medlock decommitment. I'm not at all.
No, not one bit.
Wish him the best of luck at any future program, but like I said, I'm not worried about it at all.
What about T2, man? T2's back in the mix. What do you think?
I don't know. Did he have ties to Oregon previously? I don't know his story with Oregon.
Oh, he's just an elite recruit in general.
And guys, I'm not expecting a top 10 class. I'm not expecting it. We're 9 days away from early signing day. I'm not expecting a top 10 class. I'm expecting maybe a couple nice snags we wouldn't have gotten under Diaz. And guess what? A nice transfer portal class with an influx of maybe a couple of Oregon players.
Flow to the U, man. Hey, if you guys want to start posting that on Twitter there, get that thing going, whatever you guys want to do. But I think Flo's a guy that we should be definitely paying attention to seriously. And Chris Mitchell right there, too, bringing up T2 right there. Paul, I'm going to lean on the T2 side, man. That's a guy that I want at the University of Miami.
All right, we are nearing 600 people joining us live. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. If you can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, would greatly appreciate your support. We're actually doing a live show with Eric Winston, former NFLPA president, tomorrow. We'll be talking about the Mario Cristobal hire. It's going to be a great show. And hey, once we kind of get a feel who's getting recruited by Cristobal's staff, we will be having on some recruits as well. We've interviewed 5-star class of 2023 recruit Jaden Wayne several times. We've interviewed 5-star defensive lineman Anthony Lucas at N as well. We've interviewed a lot of great players, so we'll have them on. That's the plan.
I could see David Hicks getting back in the mix too with this one, Paul. I really could.
And I will be doing my weekly show with Brandon Merriweather, former first-round pick, NFL veteran, number 19, one of the best safeties to play at Miami. I do my weekly show with him. The plan is Wednesday or Thursday, so look out for that.
Man, I'm excited, Paul. I'm excited, man. I'm super excited. There's one player I want to bring up here, though, we haven't talked about yet. He actually hit me up on a DM showing me that Mario Cristobal had just followed him today, and that's my guy, man. It's Renard Smith. I'm so happy for him, dude. I really, really hope this staff takes a look at him because he bleeds orange and green. He absolutely does. He was so excited to get that follow. I'm
Really?
gunning for him. Renaud knows. Renaud knows I'm gunning for him at the University of Miami.
Yeah, Ronald's a great kid, man, and hopefully he gets that offer from Miami. I understand UCF, USF, Miami, a lot of in-state schools were going after him as well. So we'll see what happens. It is a new coaching staff, so I think that's a good start if the head coach is following you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially day one. He's, you know what? I'll say too, Paul. He's actually got Western Kentucky reaching out to him now too. So just something to keep an eye on.
Will Mario coach the bowl game? I don't think so because
No.
I think he'll watch it. He'll definitely watch it. I don't think he'll coach it. I don't know who's going to coach the bowl game since we lost our offensive coordinator, our head coach, and defensive coordinator. So I don't really know who's left to coach. Baez. Seriously, I don't know who's going to coach the team. That's a good question.
I'm really, really, really curious to see who we retain, Paul. Like from this current staff. Like I'm really curious to see if there's anything that was left over from the Diaz staff that Cristobal wants to work with or not, or if he just wants to clean house. And I'm excited to see what routes we go, and I'm excited to see what routes we go in a hurry in that because it's going to happen in a hurry. We have to make some moves pretty damn quick.
Bobby Graves, $20 donation. Thank you so much, Bobby. This might not have happened without Kirk Herbstreit ripping the Miami Hurricanes administration for not caring about the football program live on ESPN College Game Day back in September. Blessing in disguise. Wow. Thank you for the donation. Greatly appreciate it. I 110% agree. That applied pressure to the University of Miami athletics, Julio Frank, to fire Blake James and get rid of Manny Diaz.
I don't know if I could be much happier, guys. Honestly, I don't know if I could be much happier with the move we just made at the University of Miami. And it's not just because of Cristobal. It's because I believe in him as a coach wholeheartedly. I believe in him as not just the head coach. I believe in him as a guy who can fill out a roster with competent coaches around him, with elite recruits around them. This is a new day, guys. I'm never going to sit here and say the new Miami because I want that phrase to be absolutely buried 6 feet underground. But I will say this is a new time at Miami, and it's a new day at Miami.
We got a $50 donation from Taj. Taj, thank you so much for the $50 donation. We greatly appreciate it. Your son is consistently in our prayers. And Ross, with the amount of people we have listening live right now, would you like to just spread kind of what's going on with Taj, his family? They're going through a really rough time. And I think Canes Nation would greatly appreciate, just the movement of what we've been trying to do and just more aware in the GoFundMe page set up.
Yeah. One of our guys, some of you guys have heard us talk about him. One of our Canes fans, he goes by Bang Bang Canes on Twitter. His son Taj had a horrible, horrible accident. I mean, freak accident. Nothing could have been done to really prevent this. It was just something that absolutely happened. And unfortunately, it's put him in a position to where he's had to get multiple procedures. He's still going through multiple procedures and having to get multiple bouts of therapy when this is all said and done. This is a young kid, guys. He's too little to have to be going through this. But thankfully, he's got the Children's Hospital in Seattle did some amazing stuff for him, and they've got him feeling a lot better. They've got him feeling a lot more stable. So that's a good thing. If you guys want to get involved with their GoFundMe, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at NorthFreshCane or hit up Paul. Paul will let me know, and we'll get the link to you guys. And the hashtag is what we've been pushing on Twitter, guys. Is hashtag Taj Strong, TAJJSTRONG. The family will absolutely appreciate any of that stuff. So, guys, let's definitely show some love to Taj.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Put the family in your prayers. We're going to set up something on our end, to give out some donations to the GoFundMe page. Bring as much awareness as possible. Any awareness hashtag, anything on social media, from $1 to any amount you'd like to donate, would be great to Taj's family. No doubt about it. And we're going to set something up on the Scoop on the U's behalf to Taj and his family very soon. In regards to that, so keep Taj and his family in your prayers.
Last I saw Taj, he was sitting up in bed and he was focused, and that was a couple weeks ago. I didn't see that from him. So progress is being made, guys. Let's keep praying for that little guy, and let's get him well so he can get himself to a Canes football game and have fun.
Taj Strong, everyone. All right. $15 donation from Norman Fujioka. Hi, Paul and Ross. It's a great day. Now we got to get Radakovic. Yes, we got to get Dan Radakovic. That is the expectation, guys. He will be announced shortly, unless things fall apart. But we got Mario Cristobal. But yeah, Dan Radakovic will be the AD, presumably as of right now, at the University of Miami. They haven't said anything publicly, but all indications say it's final. So
There's a question here in the chat, Paul, and it just popped up there at the bottom. What happens to Ed Reed? Well, what happens? I have no idea. I mean, Frank, I have no idea.
I don't think Ed Reed. I mean, Ed Reed didn't really have the biggest role, with Manny Diaz per se. I mean, he was just around the program. But I mean, I don't. It's up to Mario, I guess. But I don't think it's any.
My question going into this, Paul, would be: do you think that Cristobal is going to be the guy who's going to be more willing to let our Canes alumni back around our players, back on our sidelines, and back in the mix? Do you think he'll be that type of coach?
I would hope so, and I think he is a former player. He's an alumni. I think the athletic director, whoever it is, would have to give it the green light as well. To bring alumni back. I think that's what he wants to do, and I'm curious if he hires Alonzo Highsmith to have a role in the football program.
I have no problem as long as we do it the right way. Like I said, I'm not going to live in the past. I refuse to live in the past, but we can take some of our past and make it work for us in the future. We can find our identity and find out who we really are and push forward with it. And that's all you can ask for, guys. Literally.
Ross, if you had to make an educated guess on your next commit, who would it be?
Oh man. Geez. Man, that's tough because things move so quick. I mean, dude, things move so quick with a move like this. You know what, guys? I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say a name that I normally haven't said in this stuff, but I'm going to say Earl Little is our next recruit.
Earl Little Jr. I'm going to say Nigel Kelly.
Yep.
And I think Devin Jackson will follow as well.
I hope so. That's the guy I really, really hope follows. I mean, I believe he ran a 10.5 100-meter. I mean, bro, at linebacker running a 10.5? Like straight up sideline speed. The new age linebacker. He's it.
Yeah. All right, Ross, anything you want to bring up we haven't mentioned about to wrap up the show shortly. Over 600 people joining us. We had over 640 people. If you can hit like, hit subscribe, hashtag Taj Strong on your Twitter. We would greatly appreciate that. Or absolutely. On anywhere on social media.
Yep, absolutely, guys. That right now, to me, I mean, if we can end the show off on that point, to focus it on Taj while we just had this amazing run at change at Miami coaching, this is all positives things. Let's go into the future positive in every way possible.
100%, guys. I'm looking forward to the coaching staff's hires. Remember, Mirabal is in at offensive line coach. Coach Aaron Feld, strength and conditioning coach, the man with the mustache, looks like a Pringles guy on steroids. He's coming in. You got Mario Cristobal. I want Jaquan Cedar at running backs coach. I want Joe Brady as our offensive coordinator, okay? I want to bring an elite staff because your OC and your defensive coordinator are very vital, extremely vital for your program.
I see Chris Mitchell saying Anthony Lucas is next commit. You know what, dude? Hey, if that's it, Chris, dude, I will do backflips, bro. That would be so huge for us.
If you can, in 9 days, if you can finish out Anthony Lucas, Malik Ogbo, Earl Little Jr., Devin Jackson, Nigel Kelly,
you can't ask for anything bigger than that.
It's 9 days from early national signing day. You can land all those guys. Impressive. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Even if we can land a handful of those guys, Paul, even a handful of them is better than what we had already. So no matter what, Cristobal is going to improve this class. If it's not by leaps and bounds, it's at least by still a couple players at the right position.
Bradenton Kane, $5 donation. Thank you so much. The entire country eating crow now. All we heard was Miami is broke. Nobody wants to coach here. The program doesn't attract great coaches, blah, blah, blah. Yep, the entire nation is eating their words. Jeff Schwartz, I guess he was an NFL player. I don't know. Said Miami, no shot Mario Cristobal was going to go to Miami. Josh Pate said Oregon was a better job than Miami. He apologized.
Cameron Williams right there, the offensive lineman that Norman is bringing up. That's the guy I was talking about, guys from Duncanville, Texas. he is the guy that I believe we're going to make a serious push for at Miami on the offensive line, a major push.
Charles Gilbert, $5 donation. Thank you so much. Great day to be a Hurricane. Christmas gift going out to Kirk Herbstreit, and thank God for 4th and 14. Hey, Mario Cristobal is the new head coach at the University of Miami. Thank you to the 646 plus people that were listening to us live. We greatly appreciate it. Let's go out. Let's land some 5-star recruits. Let's get Shamar Stewart. Okay, let's get all the 5 stars like Malik Agbo, Anthony Lucas. Let's reel in Joe Brady. Let's get Will Muschamp as defensive coordinator, whoever you want. Let's get Corey Raymond from LSU. And let's finally win the ACC and get that 6th national title we've been dying for.
Get back in the national spotlight, guys. That's what we've been dying for as Canes for a long time. This move could really, really make that happen for us. So it's very exciting. Very exciting.
Guys, thank you everyone again for tuning in. Thank you everyone for your donations, taking time out of your day. Remember, Taj Strong, support the cause. What's going on, man? Pray for Taj and his family. He's a tough kid, and he's got the highest ceiling, man. When he gets through this, he's going to do great things in life. So Taj Strong, guys, remember that. Yep. And always, all about the U. Go Canes.